Mindshifters, hello. I am so excited to get into this part of my channel. As you guys know, I was recently converted as of over 2 years ago to keto, and just a lot of things happened. Like I said, my son and I started to actually read the Bible, and it just changed so much in my life and in his life. And I realized that we have to um, take time to get the whole self healed and on a system that works. So I remember before I purchased this townhouse, which was about 5 years ago, is that I had been introduced to Dave Ramsey, as well as there's like a financial guru at my church who has a ministry, and I'll do a story time on my other channel, Michelle Singletary, who's amazing as well. But I was introduced to Dave Ramsey, and then right when I purchased my townhome, I had a broken engagement, and it just seems like one thing after another, I just fell off. Um, and I really didn't have anything to connect it with, and honestly, I wasn't in the right mindset anyway. So the reason why I'm going to show you two books, if you all probably seen it, Dave Ramsey's Total Money Makeover, and also the handbook for the Financial Peace University, which I paid for 5 years ago. And at the time, they had 13 weeks. I had the CDs. I think you could do CDs, DVDs, or attend the classes in person. So I've listened to the CDs. And then the Total Money Makeover, the material is pretty much the same, but I love that they have like stories of like real life stories of people in here. I do wish they had a little bit more of single parent stories, but I understand that this is sort of Christian based, so the hope is that you're married. But I do know they have stories of like widows and widowers. But anyways, these are two great resources. I'm a big proponent of people doing their own research. And that goes for nutrition as well. I do not want anyone to get on the keto bandwagon or the vegan or whatever the case may be bandwagon, and they haven't done their own research. But this video is about why I chose and why I'm doing the Dave Ramsey's Total Money Makeover, or his baby steps to financial peace. And so I'm just going to give you a brief synopsis. And as we go along over the next few weeks, the next few months, the next few years, we should see my progress, and hopefully any others that are doing this, or if you're getting unmotivated, we can motivate each other. So I'm just going to go quickly through the 7 steps. And one other thing too, for people that are learned in financial management, or personal finance, where you feel like this is common sense, this may not be the space for you. We don't really need any trolling, any comments. This is a safe space for people that maybe I didn't grow up with a system. And so what may seem like common sense to you, it's not common sense to everyone. Anyways, thank you. So let's go over the baby steps. There are 7 baby steps to financial peace, utilizing Dave Ramsey's plan. And the first step is to save $1,000 in emergency savings. And this doesn't seem like it is that difficult, but think about how hard it is for some, including myself until a month ago, to actually have like $1,000 liquid cash. Like, I was the girl or the mom, sad to say, that I had to borrow money from my son, my teenage son, this summer to get some a contractor to come in and to fix some work. So I'm definitely renewed, and I, Lord's willing, will not do that ever or have to do that. But it was very humbling to have to ask my son, who is a teenager, who just should be focused on his future and things like that. Like, I had to borrow money from him. That's very humbling. So I can give you different ways, and we're going to go into videos of how, if you're having a hard time with building that emergency savings, how you can do that. Like I said, I'm a single mom of a teenager, but I've been a single mom for all of his life. So since I was 20. So it's, I can definitely give you some ways to make additional income, and to get that emergency savings. Because let me tell you, Murphy's Law will happen. As soon as you make a declaration to be better with your finances, something's going to happen. And that's just been my life. Every time I've made a point about something, is some sort of obstacle to derail me from what I want to do. Anyways, step 2 is where I am right now. Where I am right now, guys, is to pay off all debt. And Dave Ramsey utilizes the snowball method, which I guess it gets a lot of criticism. I was doing my research because there's like the debt avalanche. And the difference between the two methods is the debt snowball method, which you'll see me list my debts in the next video, or one of these videos. You list all of your debts, smallest to largest, and you can put your interest rate, but you normally want to put what your balance is. You want to put what the minimum payment and what your actual payment will be. Because essentially, once you pay off that first debt, you want to take that minimum payment, or whatever the actual payment you were paying towards that first debt. You want to snowball it to, you want to add it to the second, debt. So you just kind of keep going. That's hence the snowball. You think of a snowball as it rolls down the hill, it gets larger and larger. So the critics say that that's not necessarily the best method, or not the best method, it's the most efficient method, because it's not taking into account your interest rates. And the debt avalanche was kind of almost reversed. You kind of do the same thing, but you put the debts that have the highest interest rates at the top, and you try to hit those first, and so forth. And you do save money with the debt avalanche. But I like this approach because Dave Ramsey talks about behavior. He's been doing this, over 30 years. That behavior is such, it's not necessarily what makes sense. Because if it was about what makes sense, people wouldn't be in debt. It's about the behavior, and once you get a reward every time you pay off a debt. So I resonate with that, because my whole experience, hence Mindshift, is all about your changing in your mind and combining that with your habitual habits changing, and that sort of yields the result that you want. We all know the formula for everything. We know the formula to lose weight. We know the formula to eat nutritiously. We know the formula to do all the things we really need to do. Honestly, we know the formula. It's just, what makes it so hard is because we're not disciplined, and maybe we don't have a system that we can be disciplined to. So I'm doing the debt snowball, like I said. In the next video or so, I'll show you all of my debts, and you'll just come along with me on the journey, and I'll hopefully give you pointers, and you'll give me pointers. Step 3 is to have 3 to 6 months of savings. That is vital, especially if you're a homeowner. And I'm going to do several videos about home ownership, and the myths about home ownership, and just sort of the pitfalls you can fall into if you don't really take home ownership seriously. And 4 is to invest 15% in your retirement, whether you have it if your company's matching or your own retirement accounts. 5 is save for college, and you all are going to see some heartbreaking videos. Well, they're heartbreaking to me. They may not be to you. You may say that's what Paula gets, but there's been some, things that I've had to do recently and 10 years ago involving like saving for my college, my son's college. And but for those of you out here that, if you can start this early, you can save for your kids' college. My son and I are going to do videos using Anthony O'Neill's, I think he's a Dave Ramsey's personality, about debt-free college, because that's really serious to me, because I'm still paying my student loans almost 20 years later. So that's a whole situation right there. Number 6 is pay off home. Number 7, build wealth and give. So essentially that's the 7 baby steps, and it is simple, right? But what makes it challenging, at least for me, or what I can anticipate, is that I'm in step 2, which he calls getting gazelle mode. And you guys haven't really seen me, even on my videos. I mean, the quality's gotten a little better, but not really. But y'all haven't really seen me. It's not that I haven't been, recording things with my son or myself, but you haven't seen me sort of uploading because I've been in gazelle mode. I've had cleaning, different part-time jobs. I'm trying to increase my coaching business to more of like a life coaching sort of thing. And so trying to expand my website, of course, trying to stay competitive in my job as a project manager and things like that, and trying to take certifications for that. So as well as feed my spiritual, just health, make sure that that's staying good. So it's just been a packed house. So you guys will see me over the next, like I said, few days, few weeks, few months, and years, giving you my progress. And hopefully I can encourage you and give you some ideas on, what to do to reach your goals. And also when you get down in the dumps and unmotivated, just give you that energy. Maybe you guys can give me that energy. But this here is the 7 baby steps. Oh, one issue, and I'll talk about during the baby step 2, a lot of people have issues, and I haven't done it yet either, guys. So we're going to do a whole ceremony about that. You have to cut up your credit cards. Ooh, I know. It's like credit cards. That's probably been my most, tumultuous relationship, but it's the most long lasting is my credit cards. Credit cards. And so once you pay them off, the credit cards, and that's sort of, again, we'll do a video about some of the issues that people have with his plan about like zero debt. That means you do not have a FICO score, or you'll have a zero FICO score if you've had a FICO score. Living without any sort of debt, and being beholden to lenders, as well as temporarily, I gotta say that, temporarily stopping your retirement. And that I just did that. So I started the Debt Snowball in September, and that's what you'll see. But anyways, I hope this helped Mindshifters. If you're not interested in the spiritual and the financial stuff, just pay attention to the titles and the thumbnails. I normally try to match it to if you just want sort of straight pure keto videos. So Mindshifters, we can do this. We are doing this. I know for me, I woke up and I was sick and tired of being sick and tired, and hopefully you are too. Okay, bye guys.